Hello grade 6. Now we will talk about Unit 1 Lesson 4, Multiplying and Dividing Integers. Multiplication in Z. Since the sum of two integers is an integer, and we know that the multiplication operation is a repeated addition operation. Thus, the multiplication of two integers is an integer. That's to say, multiplication operation is always possible in that. For example, 2 times 3 equals 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. 6 is belong to that positive. 2 times 3, that means 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. And 6 is belong to that positive. That's to say, the product of two positive integers is positive. B. Negative 3 times 4 equals negative 3 plus negative 3 plus negative 3 plus negative 3 equals negative 12. Negative 12 is belong to that negative. That's to say, the product of a negative integer and a positive integer is negative. Again, the product of a negative integer and positive integer is negative. C. 4 times negative 2 equals negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 equals negative 8. Negative 8 is belong to that negative. That's to say, the product of a positive integer and a negative integer is negative. The product of a positive integer and a negative integer is negative. D. Negative 3 times negative 2 equals negative of 3 times negative 2 equals negative of negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 equals negative of negative 6. That means equal 6, because negative times negative equals positive, and the 6 is belong to that positive. That's to say, the product of two negative integers is positive. Again, the product of two negative is positive. So we can deduce the rules for multiplying integers as follows. 1. The product of two integers with the same sign is positive. That's to say, positive times positive equals positive, and negative times negative equals positive. 2. The product of two integers with different signs is negative. That's to say, positive times negative equals negative, and negative times positive equals negative. Notice that 4 times 0 equals 0. 0 times 3 equals 0. Negative 2 times 0 equals 0. And 0 times negative 5 equals 0. That's to say, multiplying any integer by 0 equals 0. Example 1. Find the following. A. Negative 3 times 5. At first multiply the sign. Negative times positive equals negative. And multiply the numbers. 3 times 5 equals 15. Negative 3 times 5 equals negative 15. B. Negative 4 times negative 6. At first, multiply the signs. Negative times negative equals positive. 4 times 6 equals 24. C. Negative 9 times 0 equals 0. Any number times 0 equals 0. D. 6 times negative 3. Positive times negative equals negative. 6 times 3 equals 18. E. Negative 100 times absolute value of negative 2. At first find the value of absolute value. Negative 2 is 2. Negative times positive equals negative. 100 times 2 equals 200. F. Negative 31 times 3. Negative times positive equals negative. 1 times 3 equals 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. Then negative 31 times 3 equals negative 93. Properties of multiplication in Z. 1. Closure property. The set Z is closed under multiplication. That's to say, the product of any two integers is an integer. Negative 3 is belong to Z. Negative 2 is belong to Z. Then negative 3 times negative 2 equals 6. And 6 is belongs to Z. 2. Commutative property. If A and B are two integers, then A times B equals B times A. For example, negative 3 times negative 4 equals 12. Negative 4 times negative 3 equals 12. That's to say, negative 3 times negative 4 equals negative 4 times negative 3. 3. Associative property. If A, B and C are three integers, then A times B times C equals A times B between two brackets times C equals A times B times C between two brackets. For example, 4 times negative 3 times negative 2 equals 4 times negative 3 between two brackets times negative 2 equals 4 times negative 3 equals negative 12. Negative 12 times negative 2 equals 24. 4 times negative 3 times negative 2 equals 4 times negative 3 times negative 2 between two brackets equals 4 times 6 equals 24. 4. The existence of the multiplicative identity or neutral element in Z. For an integer A, we have 1 times A equals A times 1 equals A. That's to say, the number 1 is the multiplicative identity or neutral element in Z. For example, 1 times 3 equals 3 times 1 equal 3. 5. Multiplication is distributed over addition and subtraction in Z. If A, B and c are three integers, then a times b plus c between two brackets. That means by using the distribution property, a times b plus a times c. A times b plus a times c. Another example, a times b minus c between two brackets. By using the distribution property, a times b minus a times c. A times b minus a times c. For example, 2 times negative 4 plus 7 between two brackets. The first method, write 2 and find negative 4 plus 7. Negative 4 plus 7 equals 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. The second method, by using the distribution property, 2 times negative 4, 2 times negative 4 plus 2 times 7. 2 times negative 4 at first plus 2 times 7. 2 times negative 4 equals negative 8 plus 2 times 7 equals 14. Negative 8 plus 14 equals 6. Another example, 3 times 5 minus 7. The first method, 5 minus 7 equals negative 2. 3 times negative 2 equals negative 6. Another method, by using the distribution property, 3 times 5 minus 3 times 7. 3 times 5 minus 3 times 7. At first, 3 times 5 equals 15. Write minus 3 times 7 equals 21. 15 minus 21, write the sign of the greatest number and find the difference between two numbers, equals negative 6. Second, dividing integers. The following rules are applied when dividing integers is possible. The quotient of two integers with the same sign is positive. That's to say, positive divided positive equals positive. Negative divided negative equals positive. For example, 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Positive divided by positive equals positive. Negative 10 divided by negative 2. At first, divide the signs. Negative divided negative equals positive. 10 divided 2 equals 5. 2. The quotient of two integers with different signs is negative. That's to say, positive divided by negative equals negative, and negative divided by positive equals negative. For example, 40 divided by negative 5. At first, divide the sign. Positive divided by negative equals negative. 40 divided by 5 equals 8, then equals negative 8. Negative 40 divided by 5. At first, divide the sign. Negative divided by positive equals negative. 40 divided by 5 equals 8. Now we come to the end of our lesson. Thank you so much. Goodbye and see you in the next lesson.